SHS Renewable Energy Challenge. Now, the grand finale is on the 7th of October. That's on Tuesday. And we'll be live on the Joy News channel. This morning, we're joined by Dr. Kofi Ampoma-Benefo, who's Senior Research Scientist at CSIR, and Emmanuel Omank-Okoye, who is National STEM Coordinator at the National STEM Unit, GES. Emmanuel, Doc, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you to have
I believe you're all doing very well.
Very well.
And preparations are underway. Everything is on course.
Absolutely.
Doc, before we get into everything, before we get into why it's important for CSIR to be part of this challenge, tell us briefly what this whole Energy Commission SHS Renewable Energy Challenge is all about.
Yeah, I remember I was part of the very beginning when one day that's Julius, one of the key persons, called me and said, "Oh, Doc, we're trying to do this and for the SHS. Do you have any ideas or what do you think?" So I sent him some information. And basically, they look at the broad picture of our energy consumption in Ghana and said, okay, where do we start from? You go throughout the length and breadth and then find out that there's something that we need to start from our kids or from the youth. If you check the JHS and even SHS curriculum, there's a component of it that talks about energy. So then the Energy Commission thought it that in their wide scope to look at how do we tap into this so that it doesn't become only just an academic course, but something that they can understand. And if you understand it from the childhood, then you pick it up, and as you grow, you build it up. So key is that they're looking at how to infuse how the kids can begin to learn about the energy and to be able to help all of us have a better future in terms of our energy perspective.
Great. I like the fact that we're thinking about how the young ones can help us have a better future. Of course, they are the future. And so if they learn it at this point in time, it actually would help. Emmanuel, you are with the National STEM Unit. Tell us why it's important for your institution to be part of this challenge.
Thank you very much, and I bring you warm greetings from the management of the Ghana Education Service, headed by Professor Ernest Kofi Davis, and then the two deputies, as well as my own director, Mrs. Olivia Sewa Opari. She is the director for the National STEM Resource Unit. All right, so thank you again for the question. For GES, from 2019, moving upwards, you have a curriculum being changed from the objective-based now to the standard-based curriculum, or what others will also refer to as the competence-based curriculum. What is in this curriculum? This curriculum trains learners so that learners will be able to demonstrate what they know and can do. That is the essence of it. You know, hitherto we have all complained of our learning being that of chew pour, pass and forget situations, learners not being able to apply all these. But then the competency base gives them the opportunity to directly apply these things. So they get to learn and then be exposed to the 21st century core skills. That is critical thinking, problem solving. They have communication, as well as they are doing collaboration, digital literacy, and all that. So with all these skills that are embedded in the curriculum, now we need to find a way of assessing learners as well, so we can actually prove that what they are learning, they actually can do them, because that's what the curriculum is looking out for. And voila, that is where you have the energy challenge coming in. And so it seriously sits in and fits into the situation why we actually needed them to be part of it. Thank you.
Great. Let me find out from Dr. Ampoma-Benefo, the Senior Research Scientist at CSIR, why, you've been part of it right from the beginning, but why is it important for CSIR, for instance, to be part of this challenge?
For CSIR, like to stand for Council for Scientific Industrial Research. Some people will call it Center for, but it's the whole council. And then at the moment, we have 13 institutes, which starts, let's say we have food research and keep the food, animal research for animal, water research. So it means that we do research in these areas. And then our place is Institute of Industrial Research. So when you look at the energy space, it falls under the Institute of Industrial Research. So if Energy Commission is looking at the energy, then definitely when they want to work with partners, then CSIR comes in, because we have a research institute that plays a major role in energy.
Talking about working with partners, how does working together with other partners, for instance, for you, from your point of view, make the program stronger?
Yeah, so for the Energy Commission, they are the commission, so it's just like the player and they are the referee, right? And then the other partners are the players. So we have the referee and then the players on the field, including that's a GS, there's a TVET too, and then us. So the council is a quaternary institute. Let me just explain that a bit. We have the primary school, for example, the secondary school, then the universities are tertiary. So we go to the extent of being the quaternary. So we bridge the gap between what the universities does and then what the industry have, that commercialization or turning products into commercial technologies. So for the Energy Commission's program, the students do more of what would say prototype, or they are the pilot ones. So we coming in to help turn their product into commercial ones, so that then somebody can purchase it or buy it and it becomes something that helps the country. So in the value chain of the competition, we play a significant role, so that it doesn't end at we have ended and that is all, but how that the country benefit out of it.
Great. Let me bring you in, Emmanuel. You want to make a point before I go to my
yes, thank you very much. So just to add to that, for us as an education institution, we have the opportunity where learners are now going to have that kind of integration, because they are going to meet with those who are directly in the industry and then are working on. It brings out the knowledge that they are learning do not just stay with them. They don't find themselves completely strange or parallel. So for us, the industry is concerned, but then they are able to work with them directly. They get to understand exactly what the industry equally needs. It gives the industry also the opportunity to also channel their pathways of what they would want the learners to equally acquire directly to the learners. So by the time learners are out, you see that they are completely well prepared, rounded people, either to move ahead in terms of world of further education or into the field of work, or to handle both. Okay. And that is exactly where Ghana is going.
Now, let me just stay with you, Emmanuel, because and this morning we're joined by Dr. Kofi Ampoma-Benefo, who's Senior Research Scientist at CSIR, and Emmanuel Omang Okwe, who's National STEM Coordinator at the National STEM Indigenous. We're talking about the Energy Commission SHS Renewable Energy Challenge. The grand finale is on the 7th of October 2025. Now, I'm sure you may have followed.
It's not just SHS. TVET.
Yes, TVET institutions are part, of course, because that Bokpa Technical Institute is in there. I think last year they were in the grand finale. Also.
Absolutely.
Yes, last year they played second to Mando Secondary School. Yes,
so
I emceed that, so I remember very well. But let me get back to you. Were you surprised by the creativity of the student? I mean, I was when I was there last year. I couldn't believe what I saw, but going through it right from the preliminary stage to the semi-finals, were you surprised by what the young ones were doing?
Absolutely. I just don't have the words to really describe exactly the kind of surprise that we have. You have things that the learners are bringing up, and then you could just imagine if at this level they already have this kind of creativity, this kind of thoughts, this kind of reasoning, and again still even working it out to see it being functional. It's really mind-blowing and wonderful. I can recall the situation where a particular school, for example, presenting a whole mobile dialysis machine, and if you have this whole thing, this technical thing developed by students all by themselves, in fact the additions that they've done as against what already exists that they've seen, it tells you it's marvelous. They are not just those ones, but there are a lot more of that before we can even talk about those that we have also in the finalist competition. It's serious, and it is serious.
Let me find out from Dr. Ampoma-Benefo. I mean, when the student, once they started all of this, were you surprised by their creativity? What stood out for you?
Okay, it's yes and no. Let me start from the no first. My mom was a teacher who had retired as a basic school, and I remember when we were young, he used to send us to some kind of function. Now I understand it to be that there were exhibition where the schools will meet and then they show all the things that they have done. So from that angle, I know that there's a great potential in our youth always, right? So that's the point where I would say, no, I'm not surprised. But the other part, which is yes, is that yes, then whatever that I saw in the past is still there now, and they are doing greater things. So I would say that in a way, it is part of a revival of something which has been in the past, and then we should expect greater things, because now the beginning seems to be small, even though it's growing. But probably in the next 10 years, we would be seeing very, very marvelous things.
Talking about within the next 10 years, seeing marvelous things, it will take me to something I want your views on. I mean, how can we, beyond the competition, how can these projects be supported to make real impact? For now, it looks like, okay, more like an exhibition. We show this is what we've done, end of story. How do we ensure these projects make real impact in life?
Yeah, so Energy Commission, they had a vision and then they gave birth to it, and that is very small. So first, they must continue to hold that vision and then grow it up, and then continue to bring on stakeholders, that's relevant stakeholders. But at a point, I think the government always have the biggest pocket, so the government may have to come in big time. But we also see that the other arm is the private sector participation. They also are, let's say, in the industry. For example, if a product is developed and finally commercialized, then we're looking at maybe the business people coming to take it up. So whilst the government being one of the biggest players comes in, I'm expecting that the private enterprise also come in from the other side, and then we work together. I may not want to talk about foreign sponsorship, because now when they come in, they detect what we're supposed to do, and then they take what we have. But if we want to grow what we have and then own it, then I would say that we may have enough resources to be able to grow it. That Energy Commission must keep the spirit and then groom it up.
Emmanuel, what would you say?
Thank you so much. So again, for us, TVET Genius, we have these students developing this far. Should it end there, that is a very big deal. We have CSIR who are actually coming in, helping to refine the products at the end of the day, making it commercially viable. To the extent that I understand, even the first two have already been developed, where they are now working on patents. You see, with this kind of ideas, with this kind of progress, you encourage the learners to keep researching and to keep on going, because they know very soon they will be in school. Meanwhile, they will also equally be earning something, and that is charging all the other students to put in more effort and energy. And it's not just the students, their coaches are equally coming. And you know, now it's a thing of the schools. Yeah, now the schools are ready to show that yes, we are equally bringing this to help the country from our end, and that is seriously a boost.
Finally, from you, Emmanuel, what's that final message you'd leave with the finalists? They're getting ready. We'll all be there to see, as they do their presentation. I mean, the best part is when they answer the questions. When the judges put the questions to them and they're answering. Because as for the presentation, you've mastered it. But when they get to answering the questions, and I'm always surprised, the answers they're able to give. But anyway, what message would you leave with them?
So thank you once again. For our students, I'll just tell them they have prepared this. They've gone through the mill from the very beginning, from scratch. They have done modifications, etc. It's just about time where now they just tell the country as well as the entire world, because this is going viral, so that everybody knows that this is what they've been able to produce. They are telling us it is their product, so they should just enjoy themselves whilst they show us exactly what they have. No matter how the questions will come, since they own the product, definitely they have the process as well, so all the questions will go to them. So they should feel free and enjoy themselves. It's a wonderful competition, though. At the end of the day, they are all winners coming this far with whatever they have. It's valuable, so they should just give it up. Thank you.
And let me say congratulations to the 6 finalists: the Bokba Technical Institute, Preseg Legon, Damango SHS, Ola SHS, Kenya Se, Ahantaman Girls, and Adidome SHS. Dr. Ampoma Benefo, finally from you, what message would you leave for these finalists?
They should just be confident in whatever they are presenting. And I think so far, for what I've witnessed, they usually stay within the time, and that is fine. But they seem to spend more time on why they are doing this, what they are doing, but rather what they have done. They should actually spend more time to tell us what they have done and the result that comes out, and that would help. But they should be confident in whatever they are presenting.
Okay, so it's on the 7th of October. Where are we having it?
That is Accra International Conference Center.
Great. And folks, I'll be there. I'll be there to see all these young ones telling us all the great inventions that they have. Thank you very much, Dr. Kofi Ampoma-Benifo, who's Senior Research Scientist, CSIR. To you, Emmanuel Omang Okwe, who's National STEM Coordinator, the National STEM Unit of the Ghana Education Service. Thank you very much for joining us. And we wish the finalists all the best on Tuesday. This is the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. When we return after these messages, well, you've asked a question. You've asked, you say, so inflation 9.4, and so what? We find answers to that after these.